Today, car buyers are shopping online, in-store, and everything in between. Retail 360, Cox Automotive's suite of connected end-to-end tools, empowers your dealership to deliver the seamless experience consumers want. Reach out to your rep to learn more.
Welcome to Daily Drive for August 15th, 2025. I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. Today on the show, Jeep is restoring the Hemi V8 after its EV push. The UAW rallies to protect a Michigan steel plant, and VinFast will spin off assets to raise $1.5 billion. Plus, TechForce Foundation CEO Jennifer Maher joins the show to talk about efforts to help aspiring service techs pay for their education.
We still need 194,000 new techs a year, automotive techs, just to keep up with demand.
Let's run through all the news you need to know to keep up in the auto industry. Jeep is changing course and once again revving up its V8 offerings. Brand CEO Bob Roderdorf says Jeep will, quote, tap the power and performance of the Hemi across Jeep products as new projects are already underway. He continued, saying the brand will go even further by bringing more powertrain options in the future and adding more horsepower to the lineup. The first step in Jeep's Hemi revival is new life for the Wrangler Rubicon 392, which was planned to go out of production last year. UAW President Shawn Fain joined political leaders Thursday in a rally to save the Dearborn Works steel plant near Detroit. That's after owner Cleveland Cliffs idled some operations and laid off 600 workers this summer. But Cleveland Cliffs CEO Lorenzo Gonsalves told our sibling publication, Crane's Detroit Business, that the company is prepared to resume production at the Dearborn complex once automotive volumes increase to a level that will justify the move. The plant idled its blast furnace, basic oxygen furnace, and casting facilities at the complex in July, citing weak automotive production. And VinFast is poised to raise about $1.5 billion by selling some R&D assets to its founder. It's a move that will help shore up the Vietnamese EV startup's finances as it plans an ambitious expansion. VinFast announced the plan to spin off part of its R&D unit to a newly formed company known as Novatech Research and Development. It says Novatech will hold assets related to costs of completed R&D projects. After the creation of the new entity, VinFast will sell all of its shares in Novatech to its founder and CEO, Pham Nhat Vuong, for about $1.5 billion. And those are today's headlines. You can find more details on all those stories at autonews.com. Joining me now to talk about the return of the Hemi at Jeep is our own Vince Bond Jr., who covers Stellantis and its brands for us at Automotive News. Vince, welcome back to Daily Drive.
Thank you.
You heard from some dealers about this move. What are they saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement in the air. For the last couple of years, they've had the Wrangler Rubicon 392, which has been a halo model for that vehicle. But at the same time, they've lost the V8 in several other of their key models, like the Grand Cherokee and the Grand Wagoneer lineup. A few other cars, and so they're really excited to see this come back and really kind of bring people into the showrooms, even if they don't, buy the V8s. They're attracted by them, and then they may see another model that's maybe less expensive, and they'll instead buy that one. But the attraction is just having that excitement back in the showrooms and just getting folks in there.
We noted that the Rubicon 392 will get a new lease on life as part of this plan. Do we know which other models could also move ahead with a Hemi included?
Yeah. So looking ahead, if you just look back a couple of years, the Grand Cherokee used to have it, the 2-row and 3-row model. The Wagoneer lineup had it, and then of course we've always had it in the Rubicon 392 released for the last couple of years. And so dealers are hoping that we can maybe get it in the Grand Cherokee again pretty soon. And then of course the CEO was saying he's going to be across the lineup, so there's really no telling what they have planned. I'm also hearing that some dealers want to see the Gladiator get a V8. That is one model that has not had that, and so that could really be a game changer for that vehicle and change the whole personality for the Gladiator.
Vince, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
Coming up, TechForce Foundation CEO Jennifer Maher joins the show to talk about making a dent in the automotive technician shortage. That's next on Daily Drive.
Today's consumers are using multiple channels to buy cars, online, in-store, and everything in between. And dealerships need to deliver a consistent, connected car buying experience that keeps shoppers and dealers in sync across every channel and every stage of the purchase process. Retail 360, Cox Automotive's suite of connected end-to-end tools empowers your dealership to deliver the seamless experience consumers want. With industry-leading solutions and consumer sites, Cox Automotive connects and enables shopping and buying across all channels. Consider a typical buying process. A consumer might shop for cars on AutoTrader or on a dealership's dealer.com website. At the same time, they might research the value of their trade-in on Kelley Blue Book. Whatever they're doing, your sales team will see that they're actively in market through VIN solutions. When they arrive in your showroom, you can use DealerTrack to build a deal and secure financing options. vAuto will help you price their trade-in correctly, and after they drive off the lot, you can use Xtime to keep them coming back as a lifelong service customer. Along the way, you'll get the industry's most powerful predictive insights that aggregate data from 7 out of 10 in-market shoppers and AI-led automation that puts repetitive tasks on cruise control. Reach out to your Cox Automotive rep today to learn how you can meet today's high consumer expectations to deliver a more satisfying car buying experience with Retail 360.
Welcome back to Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. It wasn't that long ago that TechForce Foundation was handing out $1 million in scholarships in a year. But this summer, the foundation, which works to encourage people to become technicians, handed out $1 million in scholarships in 1 month. Foundation CEO Jennifer Maher spoke with Automotive News senior retail editor Dan Shine about the foundation's growth and the impact it's having on the tech shortage.
Jennifer, great to have you back once again on the Fixed Ops Friday edition of Daily Drive.
Always wonderful. Thanks for having me, Dan.
So we talk often on Daily Drive and in the pages of Automotive News and online at autonews.com about the technician shortage and the many, many efforts to kind of curb that and to get more aspiring technicians in service bays. TechForce Foundation, which you head up, may not be known to some of our listeners. Give us a real quick introduction of what TechForce Foundation does.
You bet. Well, the foundation's a national nonprofit. We're a charity, right? And our cause is all about championing people to be able to discover the technician workforce, and be able to get their technical education and find their way into careers as skilled techs. So that's why the name TechForce, meaning the technician workforce.
Got it. And something came across my email this week that really kind of interested me, and hence our conversation here. There was not long ago the TechForce Foundation, maybe in over a 12-month period, would give away $1 million in scholarships. I think in the last couple of months, you've given away $1 million and awarded $1 million in scholarships in just in 1 month.
Exactly. So it's booming. When I started this job about 11 years ago, we were $1 million organization completely, right? And so we would distribute scholarships $1 million a year, and we were proud. But we have been able to get so many more people interested in supporting the tech shortage and these students who need to have financial support to get through their education so folks can hire them. So we have boomed in our fundraising, and we are now distributing $6 million in 2025 alone in those scholarships and grants. And we hit the record where in the month of June, we did 1 million of that 6 million in that 1 month alone. So, when you look back at your growth and you go, wow, 1 million in 30 days, that's cranking out a lot of scholarships. And that's a big TechForce differential, is that we are doing those scholarships every day, 12 months a year, because those students are starting community college programs and tech school programs every 3 weeks. So we've got to, be out there cranking those scholarships out.
I know, Ford Motor Company asked you to help them with their kind of scholarship program. And where did a lot of this money come from? Is it foundations? Is it dealership groups? Is it where's all this money coming from?
Yes to all those, Dan, right?
Yeah.
Which is, we're a charity, so we are completely funded by donations. And so we do have a lot of corporations who either hire techs and feel that pain and want to help. There's going to be small businesses, but there's individuals. We've got individuals like you who donate $100, right? Or small businesses. We've got philanthropists who are very, very generous and may support our programs in the tens of thousands of donations. We write grants to foundations and receive funding. So yes, some of our largest donors being Ford Motor Company, but also another division called Ford Philanthropy. Then we have like Christian Brothers Automotive, who this year donated $500,000 to be able to support our scholarships. And then we've got, companies ranging from a Snap-on to AutoZone to Napa Auto Parts, lots of companies. So even companies like a WD-40 and Napa who don't hire techs necessarily, they want those techs to know that they are there to support their careers, know their brands, and also to tell industry, we feel your pain.
That's neat. So now you've got all this money and you've got to award it to aspiring technicians. How do you find these young men and women, to see that they're a good fit, there's a need?
Yeah. Well,
How does that all work?
we've built a platform, a career platform. So we use IT to build this community. We currently have over 65,000 active student techs and working techs in this community. They may be applying for scholarships, but not all of them. They are looking for apprenticeships, and they can find those at TechForce. They're looking for student jobs, and they're looking for those technician jobs. And they're in there winning contests and earning tools and, what have you to get, kind of to and through and into employment. So I think we do a lot of outreach with our schools. We have over 1,200 school partnerships, and our school partnership team is constantly visiting schools. But we also have the savvy, because this network is built kind of by techs for techs and Gen Z. We can text message our students and the techs around the country. We invite them to Mecum auctions and NASCAR races and NHRA races. And so these are a lot of things that we do that inspire these young techs to want to engage with us. And as much as you say you've got all this money, we have over 12,000 students saying they have the financial need and need help with scholarships. So I love the $6 million number. I love doing $1 million in a month. But the reality is we're still only awarding 1 in every 7 students who need our help. So that's why we keep fundraising.
And I guess, discuss a little bit about that barrier. I mean, there's often talk about the barrier to entry is, buying tools, which can be very expensive. But even just the schooling itself, it's not like a 4-year university expensive.
Right.
But it's still for many
horrible.
students, it can be, I guess, how do you address that, and how is that helping? How big an issue is that for a lot of the students?
Yeah, I think, we do tuition and cost of attendance scholarships because somebody might be going to a community college program that's only maybe 6,000. Somebody might be going to a 1 or 2 year tech school, and it could be tens of thousands. So it's certainly not a 4-year university, but it doesn't matter. There is a lot of students who are first generation students. They may come from underserved communities, but they've got the passion and excitement to want to do this work. So we just need to make sure that we can get them through that funnel and through that education. Our average scholarships are $2,500. But we also know that students are constantly writing us for some of our emergency grants. My tires are flat. I can't get to school or to my part-time job. My car doesn't work, but I don't yet know how to fix it. My mother died, and I've got to use my rent money to get home for the funeral. And so we know a lot of students get derailed and can't finish that education. And then you can't hire them, and they go off into construction. So we want to try and reduce those barriers as much as possible. By really looking at what their needs are. And then the other thing is I just don't know anybody. I don't have a network. So we try to introduce them to say, here is a one-stop shop at TechForce. Come on in, and you can find apprenticeships, you can find student jobs, you can find employers. And then we try to connect and meet and greet, because when we read what their dream is in their scholarship application, if they say their dream is to work for Ford, we know some people at Ford, and we try to connect.
Nice. And finally, like I said, we cover this issue a lot. It's one of those pressing issues in the automotive service industry is the shortage of technicians. How do you think it's going? Are we still? I mean, I know there's a great need, and every year technicians retire, they got to be replaced. How are we closing the gap a little bit here on the need for whatever number of technicians that we
Sure.
need?
Yeah, I mean, boring stats. Yes, the technician transportation tech workforce is up 2.8%, right? So there's some growth. It's ahead of the overall labor market. We still need 194,000 new techs a year, automotive techs, just to keep up with demand. Schools are not graduating that. So there is a gap. And that's why Ray's going, where do I find a tech? And I'm like, well, they're in TechForce. So come meet and interact with some of those 64,000 students. But we're doing better in the sense I have a lot of hope. Society has caught up to decide that it's okay to respect the skilled careers. Technical education is a viable career path. You're hearing it all over the news. You're reading it all over the newspapers. That was not the way it was several years ago. You had so many more headwinds. So I love that the pendulum has swung. This is where I say, hey, industry, it is now our cause du jour. People are listening. The challenge is industry has a very, good reputation of whining about the shortage, but not doing much. So, this is where we built TechForce for if you can just donate $100. Imagine if everybody did, it goes into the pot and it adds up for us to help these students. If you want to be a champion, $1,000 can help you be able to post jobs and get into the network and engage with these students. So we were mindful for, of course, we want, the Ford and the large companies to be helping, but we want everybody, the small shops, the mom and pops, everybody needs a tech. They want to support this industry. And I want technicians to have choices, not, everybody wants to have a different atmosphere. And if you want to work at a mom and pop or a small independent shop, you have to have these choices to pick. So we just need more, I think, industry to step up and actually be part of the solution.
Well, there's lots of great things going on at TechForce Foundation. Jennifer, it's always great checking in with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Dan.
That's Daily Drive for today. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer, as well as our own Vince Bond Jr. and Yang John for their reporting for today's podcast. We also had reporting from Kurt Nagel of our sibling publication, Crane's Detroit Business. You can get the latest news on service and parts, manufacturing, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com. Come back over the weekend for our Weekend Drive edition of the show. Our own Molly Boygon joins me and Larry Valquette to talk about the week's biggest stories and new momentum behind the push for software-defined vehicles.
There's a movement toward more collaboration, more reliance on open source software, which appears on its face like a step back. The automakers are doing less, but all of the experts that I spoke to told me that this actually indicates a step forward.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. And if you enjoy the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.